Hey there, honey bunnies. Welcome to episode 151 of your Sovereign Storytellers podcast with your host, Laura Michelle Wolf. I hope you can't hear the sound of the jackass across the street from me who is like removing every single tree on their property. I'm actually going to be a little noise while I close this door. I've been hiding out in my bedroom with the sound machine on and the fan and all the doors closed. And then I was like, oh, I need to record a podcast episode. But there's the sound of trees being murdered. So we're in the bathroom studio. I didn't come to you to talk about tree murder. Would it be treicide? Homicide? It's killing a person. What's the Latin name? This is ridiculous. I need to stop. Let me get on topic. So the title for today's podcast is Why Are You Giving That Thing Your Power? And I want to talk about this because sometimes this concept of taking your power back from something gets misinterpreted as ignoring it or bypass. It turns into bypassing. I don't want to think about Palestine and Gaza and Israel. I don't want to think about those things. So I'm just going to take my power back from all social media and the news outlets and whatever and just ignore everything. That's not what I mean. That's not what I shouldn't say that. I was about to say that's not what anybody means when they say you need to take your power back, but I'm sure some people do. The toxic positivity folks probably do mean put your head in the sand and ignore everything. And that's not what it means. So to take your power back from something doesn't mean you can't also advocate. It doesn't mean you can't even go to war, march in the streets, get yourself tear gassed. It doesn't mean that. It means that you don't give an external thing, whatever that thing is, the permission to tell you how to feel. Handing your power over to someone or something is giving them permission to tell you how you're going to feel. Emotions are one of our most powerful manifesting energies that we have. Emotions, a soul merged with a body, experiencing emotions deliberately and flowing and openly and honestly, that is the most powerful creature, and I don't know that we have any on the planet at the moment. That would be like a Jesus person, a Mary, who was, I think it's pretty well documented, she was performing miracles as well. But I don't personally know anybody who can do that yet. It's definitely a goal of mine to be so merged with my body that I'm just glowing. Like you could put me in a dark room and I would light the whole thing up. That's what I want. But to do that, we have to stop giving permission for things that we have no control over, for things that live outside of our own body, mind, spirit ecosystem. We don't hand them a permission slip and say, oh, here you go. Why don't you tell me how I feel? Oh, I'm going to feel terrible. Okay, thank you. I'm just going to walk around and feel terrible now. And I can't stop feeling terrible because of that thing out there that I handed a permission slip to. Right? We all do it. It's a hazard of being human. It's a human hazard. No. Lots of human hazards. It's a hazard of being human with a human brain and a mind and all the things, right? It's just one of the hazards that we have to become aware of. And once we're aware of it, it's not that big a deal. I see something, I feel terrible. I say to myself, is this serving to feel terrible? Or is it draining me so that I don't have the energy to go find some, organization that I can donate money to, since I can't, at this point in my life, go boots on the ground somewhere and try to change the world or aspects of the world that I feel compelled to do something about. Actually, compelled is a tricky one too. Let's say motivated, because compulsion is another place where we're giving our power away. There's a lot of problems on the planet. I don't feel motivated to get involved with all of them. But when I do, I want to. But I don't want it to be because someone else told me how to feel about it, or I have a mental construct that's dictating how I feel about the rightness or the wrongness. So in the Train Your Body to Wealth program, which I run, I'm just going to insert commercial here. I did knock it 50% off for the month of May because I'm hearing a lot of people still have money, but they're really scared. When we're scared of money, scared of finance, scared of wealth, that's us handing our permission slip to money. Inflation, the jobs report, whatever it is, we're saying, here's my permission slip. I'm going to hand it to you, stock market, and I'm going to let you make me feel afraid. It's kind of a wicked game, yeah. I'm going to give my power away to the report I just heard on NPR and feel horrible. So when we give our power away, when we feel horrible about something outside of us, we are about as disempowered as we can get. We're not contained. We're not focused. We're not concentrated energy. We're diffuse, scattered, confused, because it's all going out there. It's all flooding out there. It's coming in through our feet and our head, and instead of going out our heart in an empowered way, it's flowing out of our sacral chakra and our root, and we're all diffuse and scattered and confetti-like. To have concentrated focus power means that you don't stop seeing those situations, but you choose how you're going to engage with them. I think I said in the last podcast episode, and I've said it plenty, that if you see it, it's for you. It's in your resonant field if you're aware of it. So something catches my attention and I feel a response to it. It's for me. It's for me to pay attention to. It's getting my attention through that response. And then it's my responsibility to go, oh, there's this thing happening, and now I'm aware that I'm aware of it, and I can go into despair over it, which is going to land me on the couch and fighting internal cravings to eat a bunch of sugar so I don't have to feel that. Or I can let the pain of that wash through me, and then I can decide what to do. So it's not defending, it's not blocking, it's not pretending that situation isn't painful. It's being radically honest and going, oh my God, that hurts. Ow, that hurts so bad. I might cry. I might feel like the depth of grief when I see a neighbor who we don't have that much wildlife left, who is actively destroying habitat. That hurts my heart a lot. It hurts me a lot. I get very angry about my lawn no longer being a foragey food place, but cut down because the city is like, no, you can't forage natural human food out of your yard. You have to cut it to look like an empty grass desert that no longer feeds the birds, right? I can really get fucking soapboxy about the lawn situation. So it hurts me. Like it's very loud. I don't like this neighbor. He's I'm not even gonna go into it. Me and this neighbor, and there's two of them. They're a constant. Am I gonna give them my power today? Because my office faces a window which faces their house, and they're loud, and several times a day I have to go up. Are you gonna give them your power? What can you do? So I can, I started to go there today because I woke up to the sound of chainsaws and stump grinders. And this is like the third time in 3 years that he's wiped out places where the barred owls hang out. And coyote and, blah, 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 blah. Okay, see, I want to go there, but that's giving my power away. That's giving a situation permission to make me get my body all stressed out, get me riled up. And I have nowhere to go with that. Instead, I can feel the pain that I feel about that, and then the larger pain of loss of habitat for birds and animals and insects and reptiles, and then that gets bigger into the whole planet being actively, deliberately destroyed by some people, and I have a strong emotion about that. And if I stay in that reaction, I saw a thing, I feel a thing, I have some thoughts. If I stay there, I'm useless. I am disempowered, weak, on the floor, have nothing to give, have nothing to add, have no way of helping the small picture or the big picture. The small picture, there's nothing I can do about. I can't go over there and we have laws. I don't want to go to jail. Like, I can't go over there and do anything about it. And then if I stay in that again, like, I end up escalated. My body's pumping out stress hormones. My blood sugar's taking a toll because cortisol impacts your blood sugar, and that's still a thing for me. It's a lot less of a thing for me. It's getting so much better over time, but I wreck myself. I'm witnessing destruction, and then I destroy myself. I destroy my own wildlife, right? I destroy my own inner landscape, watching him destroy his, and me having feelings and thoughts about it and staying there. So it's not that you're not going to react to things. How could you not react to things? You'd be like a zombie. You have a heart, and probably if you're listening to this podcast, which is super rough and tangential and raw, and if you're listening, that means you have this strong, compassionate heart. You're a soul-focused person. You're probably on a spiritual journey. I'm not teaching marketing on here. I'm not telling you how to grow your business. I'm just saying, hey, I feel some things, and it's impacting all of us. So your big, giant heart is going to feel the pain of scared animals who now have no place to go home to today. Scared away, they'll come home and their home is gone and ground into sawdust. That hurts me. I feel pain about that. If I stay in the pain of that, or if I resist, let me say this differently. If I resist the pain of that, I will stay there. I will stick there. I will be quagmired there. I will go down, 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 and be flat on the floor, weak and disempowered. Yeah? So the alternative, and this is what I'm saying, this is what it means to take your power back, to not hand a permission slip to the jackass next door. Like, I don't hand him that. You are required to hold a non-dual mental state, and this takes a lot of practice to be able to step back and go, oh, I can hate him and I can love him as a human, or them. I can hate them. I can hate how they treat their animals. I can hate the things they do. I can hate that they're, again, destroying habitat. I can hate the shit out of that. I can absolutely feel enraged by that. And I do. And I can love that we are all fractals of the whole. I can love them on a human to a human. I love humanity. It's individual people that I struggle with. But humanity as a whole and how beautiful we are, even when we're doing things that I disagree with, because being the gang, and this is my heart of hearts belief, there's no morality. I can't see the biggest picture of the planet. I can't see the trajectory of the soul of this planet. And sometimes our souls seek what on the surface looks like an absolutely horrendous situation for a reason that belongs to the soul. Yeah, so that's the other end of the continuum. The oneness, the wordlessness, the everything is as it is, and there are things that my human mind cannot see. There's complexities that my human mind will never comprehend. I will never understand the big picture encased in a human mind, encased in a or merged with the physical body. That's part of the human experience. Is we're not supposed to be able to see the big picture. Let me say that different again. It is a natural side effect of being merged in a physical body and having a human experience that you can no longer see the long-term view, the wholeness. There's no time here either. That's the part where your human mind starts to go, what? And it just loses it. Yeah. So there's the continuum of love of all the things and respect that I don't know why these things are happening or how they're happening. I don't know the outcome. And I can love the complexity of that. And then the other side of me that if I wasn't afraid to go to jail, I would go over and like throw my body in front of the bobcat. And it wouldn't accomplish anything. It might make me feel better that I like physically took an action, right? So there's the enraged part of me that would go over there and do some damage. Like I get so mad about it. So that's my own personal violence. That's the violent part of me that would make war on the neighbor and impose my will on them because I think that is wrong, what they're doing. They think I don't know what they think because I wouldn't have a conversation with them. But let's, for the sake of argument, explore why might someone do that? Well, they think that it's good to have a yard that has nothing but grass on. It's good to have a grass desert yard. They think it's good to treat animals this way. They think I don't want coyotes in my yard and raccoons climbing on the porch, and I don't want these animals around here, so I will make them homeless and make them go elsewhere. I don't care if they die. This is my land. I've heard people say this. This is my property. I own this land. I determine blah, 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 blah. So there's no thought about living in an ecosystem. It's like, this is mine. I'm going to do what I want with it. I don't like these coyotes and foxes and yada yada and birds and, I don't like wildlife around me. And so I'm going to make it where there's no wildlife around me. There's no thought of how that impacts anyone else, okay? So if we look at it from their position, we're making a ton of assumptions just to have this conversation. I don't really know what their motivation is. But even thinking about that, I can go, all right, well, I want to go over and do violence to them because I so disagree with what they're doing. I'm a warmonger in that moment. I'm claiming ownership of their stuff and what they do with it. I'm sure they would like to come over. Well, somebody, ruined the foraging lawn. But, they might really hate me just as much because I let my cats be out and I let the dandelions grow and I like the wood phlox and I prefer the poke salad that produces beautiful berries that feed the dove. They may hate me just as much. I don't know. That's where we have to be careful because we don't know. I don't know what the soul of this planet's journey is or what she has in mind for herself, if there is that if there is a soul to the planet. I think there is. But I'm not so arrogant as to say I know what it is, and so that shouldn't be happening. On the other end of the continuum. Yeah, on that end, I'm like, I surrender. I don't know. I love humanity as a whole. I love this planet and everything on it. And in the oneness, there's no morality, so you love it all completely, fully. And then on the individual side, I'm willing to go to war over this lawn thing. Okay, so when I am super in the judgy mode and thinking about how much I hate them, I have handed them and their choices a permission slip to make me feel terrible. If I stay in feeling terrible, then I ruin my entire day. So I felt the rage this morning. Actually, this morning wasn't rage because the first time this happened, I was enraged. But now it's like, that's what they do. I'm not going to get enraged about it. I don't like it. It makes me angry. And I go, okay, how do I reduce the noise so that I can do what I wanted to do today, which is rest, write in my journal, catch up on some emails, and I guess make a podcast episode. That's me acknowledging what's happening, having my emotions about it, and then going, okay, what do I want to do now? How do I want to reduce the noise? I've got I bought myself the expensive Quiet Comfort Bose headphones. That's an investment. Honestly, if there's any way, if you're noise sensitive, they are a lifesaver. So I was like, well, let me see, I can close all these doors. I can go in my room. I can turn a fan on. I already have a sound machine. And let's see if that works. And if it doesn't, I'll throw the headphones on. And it was fine. And so then I started thinking about all kinds of things with power and what I want to do with Train Your Body to Wealth. And these concepts of where we've given our money, our power away to money in so many places. That's a huge part of what we do in there, is dissect and determine where we're letting money make us feel victimized or sorry for ourselves or put upon or helpless to change it or all these things. So to take your power back from something means that you experience the feelings that you have at being a human being, whatever those are. You let them fully in. You let yourself fully feel the panic that people are starving in Gaza, children, all those things, whatever the topic of the day is for you that makes you panic. The panic that there seems to be no way out of that situation because the people, not the government, the people of Israel have their position and the people of Palestine have their position. I have no idea what's going on. I've tried to study it. It's so complex, I just don't understand it. But what I can feel is the pain of it all. Both sides. All sides. It's fucking painful. So I can bring that pain in and let my heart break over it and let my body get agitated and jump on the exercise bike and move that energy. As it moves through me, I can be available to send love over there in that direction. We're not sending. This is a figure of speech, yeah. I'm available to activate Force Reiki in me and hold the idea of the whole planet in it. And anyone available that is seeking an energy boost can get it. I don't know who they are. They don't know who I am. I'm not doing a thing. I'm choosing what I contribute to the resonant field. I can contribute more pain and more pain and more pain and more pain. More anger and rage and warmongering and fear. I can contribute that if I stay stuck in that. Or I can bring it all in and hurt like hell temporarily. Take a deep breath and exhale love. Exhale light. This is the love and light part of things that works. You just don't get to have the love and light part of it without the shadow, pain, war part of it. Being aware of both, moving through one to get to the other. It has to be all of it. So you have to hold all of it in your brain that wants to create dichotomies. They're right, they're wrong, this is wrong, that is wrong. I'm going to kill them because they're killing something that I think they shouldn't be killing, so I'm going to kill the... You see what I mean? I've given my power away if I'm thinking like that. If I meet the pain and let it break me and let it shatter me, and then I find a new level of wholeness and I hold it all, the individual the individual perspective and the oneness and wordlessness perspective of all of time. There's no time, but all the things, yeah. That kind of experience that there's no words for, which is why it's called oneness and wordlessness. That's a Martha Beck description. The totality. Then I am fully empowered. And at a bare minimum, I can sit on my couch or in my bedroom with the fan on and the sound machine. I can sit there on the floor, activate Forest Reiki, and radiate it and be that beacon of light and life force. Maybe that impacts my neighbors. I don't know. I don't care. In that moment, my job is to generate as much connection to life force as I can through my physical body and be that radiant light. Be that light in the darkness so that someone on the other side of the world who's on their knees wondering how in the hell they're going to feed their child is going to have access to added energy. We're all one. At that level, what do I want to be adding to the oneness? Well, it's not more pain and desperation. I can't even imagine the depth of pain and desperation if there's no food for your child. I only have a little small edge of that when Morgan was little and I was going through school on welfare and we had to go to food banks. And that's just a little anxiety. It felt like a lot of anxiety. But it's nothing compared to, you know? So I don't want to contribute more rage to the oneness. But in order to not contribute more rage to the oneness, I have to experience and feel and accept the rage that exists because it's real. We have it all. If I'm like, oh no, I can't feel rage, the rage just builds. I shove it underground and it just becomes a volcano just waiting to explode. If I push against that rage and go, oh my God, I'm not a warmonger. I'm not a person who would go punch a neighbor. I'm not a person who would go throw myself in. Oh no, that's not me. I'm fruity tooty, light and light. Look at me wearing my robes. That's not me. That is war internally. So I'm contributing repression and oppression and silencing. I'm contributing that to the resonant field. I don't want that. I want to own that part of me that would prefer this would all fucking go away. I want to own the rage and the impulse to do violence over a situation. I have to own that. When I own it, it's not exiled and it doesn't sit over in the shadows and cause me a lot of problems. It's like, oh, okay, well, what is good rage? If you're not rejecting it, then it becomes healthy rage. It becomes, wow, what can I do? It becomes fuel for action, appropriate, aligned action. Now you're partnering with the energies of destruction. You're destroying the own walls in yourself. excuse me, I have the hiccups. You're destroying your own impulse to shove it all away and pretend it doesn't exist and la yourself into an early grave. Like you're pushing all that. You're not pushing all that. You're transforming it all. And you're like, okay, now what? Ooh, here's this part of me. Here's that part of me. This feels terrible. I feel it in my legs. My heart hurts. I'm crying. I'm so mad, or I'm so sad, or I'm so lost in the soup. Now what? You don't get to a clear now what place if you have given your power over to that situation to make you feel horrible, to take all your energy. I want all my energy with me so that I can clearly hear how I can contribute, what I can contribute, when I can contribute. And I want those answers to come from a place of love that serves everyone at the highest good. And I don't know what the highest good is. This kind of pathway really makes you check yourself before you wreck yourself. You have to really own that you don't know, and you may never know what the right path is for an external situation. But what you do know is what's the right path for you. You in this body at this moment in time, at this stage of the planet's development, at this stage of humanity's development, what is right for you, that you can handle, that you can manage, that you can work with. So the thing happens, you have your reaction to it, you greet all those parts of you, you find those parts of you in yourself that are doing the same thing or want to do the same thing in a different package, and then you experience those emotions and you move your body or you do whatever you need to do, go outside, take a breath, make a cup of tea, not with the idea of getting rid of it, but the idea of being present with it. Okay, I'm going to be with the present, with this package, with this pot of shit. I'm going to stay present with this. When you do, it rises, hits a crescendo, and then drops. Now you can return to love. Now you can say, okay, for today, I can give myself a little sanctuary in my room by creating some sound muffling things, and if I need to, I'll wear my headphones. What can I do? Okay, I can activate Forest Reiki. I can activate love within myself. I can imagine that I'm a cell phone tower or I'm a fire, and people who need the kind of heat that I can generate, I'm making it available. I'm not bringing them in. I'm not pushing myself out into the collective. I'm starting a fire within myself and radiating that heat, if you want to imagine it that way. I'm connecting to trees. I'm stepping inside. I'm one with the earth, one with the sky, one with the everything. And I can experience this deep love and radical acceptance for everything. And I can be that bonfire of radical acceptance and love and all the things like that. That's power. That's real power. That's true power. That's transformative power. That's you adding something absolutely gorgeous to the field, the resonant field, the collective energy space, the atmosphere of the earth, if you want to think of it that way. You are no longer contributing to violence and repression and squashing and silencing yourself. You are contributing the freedom to love, the freedom to change your circumstances, the freedom to see another way, the freedom for miracles to occur. We can only make the space for miracles. We can't engineer them. But back to the previous part of this conversation, we don't know what the miracle is supposed to be. We don't know what's supposed to happen. We don't know the long-term view. We can't be aware of all of it, but we can be aware of us. We can hold the space for something miraculous to happen. We can hold the space for someone to go to bed tonight, have a dream, wake up and go, oh my God, I never felt this way. I never knew that whatever. I never saw it like that. There's loads of stories like that where someone they're going down one path, they have a awakening moment, and they shift it all and they go in the opposite direction. And then they do reparative work of all the crap that they did before they woke up. But people don't wake up when you're screaming at them or punching them. Right? And that's not to say there's not a place to intervene. We're not practicing idiot compassion here. If we have to physically intervene to stop someone from hurting someone, or if we have to, if it's that kind of situation, then that's what we do. But we do it with an eye toward, let's stop this in this moment. Let's own, let's be honest, let's accept, and now what? How can we go forward? How can we see this differently? What can we do? What one small thing can we do? When our ego's involved, we think, okay, I got to drive all the way to DC and I got to march and I got to do all the things. And for some people, that's their path. For me, it looks like so simple and such a small thing to sit down and radiate love. What good is that? That's not doing anything. You don't know that. I know that when I feel a certain way, everything around me changes when I sustain it. And feeling like that for a moment helps in the moment. But practicing this pattern of seeing external events, having your reaction, feeling all the feels, moving through your body, and then finding the still place, the center, the eye of the hurricane, stepping into that quiet place with the storm raging all around you and going, okay, what can I do? How can I see this differently? How can I respond differently? Is there an action I can take today? And what is it? And then take it. Now you're in control. It doesn't mean your heart's not going to hurt. Like I said, you're going to have your reaction to it, but own your reaction to it. Own the rage. Own the sadness. Own the despair and the helplessness and the, oh my God, we're never going to get this right. We're going to blow this planet up. And everything's going to die and it's all our fault. Own it. And then contribute to the possibility field. Contribute and hold space for maybe a miracle can happen. Maybe I can understand a little more about why the world is like this on a big picture level. Maybe I can understand a little more about the souls of the earth's journey and the journey of myself as a soul group. Maybe I can get a glimmer of a little more information. I don't know. Maybe I can create space for a miracle. Maybe I can surrender to all of life, involve my body, engage my body, watch what I'm thinking, choose what I do, and contribute this to all of life. So why are you letting that thing make you powerless? Why are you letting that thing drain your energy? It doesn't work. It's not helping. It doesn't solve any problem, least of all yours. And your poor body is being destroyed in the process. So that's the question to ask ourselves. So in the money group, we're doing that with money a lot. Like, why are you giving money the power to make you feel like you're a piece of shit person? Why are you doing that? We know why we're doing it, right? But these are helpful questions to ask yourself. Why am I doing that? Why am I letting the tax bill on the counter make me feel bad? I do have a big tax bill from the state, and the letter's sitting on the counter, and I have to call and make a payment plan. I haven't opened it, and I'm not going to open it until I get clear energy around it. Because right now it's like, okay, I know it. I know it's big. at this moment, I don't know how long it's going to take me to pay it. I know I'll pay it. I don't know if there's room for a miracle that, somebody, my next mentee shows up and that takes care of the tax bill. I don't know that I find a lottery ticket and that takes care. I don't know if I have to pay them whatever per month for the rest of my. I don't know. And until I can get to the open-hearted space, 100%, I'm not opening that letter. I already know what's in it. I already know I have to make a phone call. But because I'm like, in my stomach, and it's so small. Like, if a negative reaction to getting a tax bill was 100%, mine's at like 10% now, which I'm super happy about. But for fun, this is what a weirdo I am. For fun, I'm like, okay, how many days is it going to sit there until I can move the 10% of me that's like, oh, I don't want to see that number in black and white. I don't want to hold that number in my hand. About 10% of me. So I'm going to let it lay there. And I'm going to feel the dread. Okay, this is another example. So the external event is the letter in the mailbox from the state. And it's like, oh, here it is. I knew it was coming. I know what it is. I know how much it is. And I know what I have to do. And yet there's this piece of me that's like, I want to open the envelope. Like now it's real. It's in my hand. It's not on the TurboTax screen, I know when I open the yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, we feel this. It's in my stomach. It makes me remember past times when I got bills that I couldn't pay and I had no idea what I was going to do. And was I going to have to choose between this bill or that bill and groceries and gas? Like it reminds me of extreme poverty times. Okay, well, what needs to be felt about that? I can let that lay on the counter and lead me down the path to really mining this 10% response for gold, because that's what it is. Am I ever going to be like, oh, yay, I got a giant tax bill? No. And I'm actively taking steps to try and get ahead of this cycle where I don't pay quarterly taxes and then I get this bill and then I'm spending all year paying it off. I get it paid off and then I got to do it all over again. Yeah. So I'm caught in a loop here and I'm going to mine this 10% of like, okay, well, what are all the ways that we could get out of this pattern that's developing over the last couple of years? I wonder how I can shift this pattern. I wonder how I can leapfrog and get ahead of the cycle so that I'm paying on time and I get to the end of the year and I don't have this situation. Yeah, I wonder how that's going to happen. I wonder what comfort I need. I wonder, is there some healing to do around past memories? Maybe I can tap on it. Maybe I need to smell my essential oil blend. Maybe I need to take a nap. Haven't been eating anything lately that makes my mind crazy? No, I haven't. But, it's just like you can start asking all those questions. Okay, do I even need to resolve this 10%? Is this 10% just the reaction I'm probably always going to have when a bill comes? So let me go back to the group. So in the group this month, because you can do this, you don't have to join the group. You don't have to sign up for Train Your Body to Wealth. You can do all of this on your own. You only would sign up for Train Your Body to Wealth if you feel like you need support or you need to be exposed to some concepts that you don't have the knowledge for and you want to do it with support. That's the only reason. These are all fact things and practices you can do by yourself, or you can form your own little study group. But what we're going to focus on in June, May was money stories. We had 2 workshops. It's usually, I guarantee 2 meetings a month for coaching and support, but usually it's 3 or 4. So for June, it's going to be pleasure with money. So talking about what we've been talking about, giving your power away. So pulling your power out of things is not giving the permission slip, not denying what you feel, that whole cycle that I've already stated 2 or 3 times. So when you switch that to money, which is an external thing, the next step of taking your power out of things is how do you approach then the situation with pleasure? Can you imagine? Can you imagine approaching scenarios that used to leave you drowning in sorrow and rage with pleasure? Can you imagine that? Like you're so full of love for everyone and everything, it's pleasurable while you contemplate, do I need to drive DC and get in a march? Do I need to sit down and do some forest Reiki? Do I need to make a prayer list and every day devote some time to this particular situation from the highest energy I can possibly generate? Well, if you're in the highest energy that you can possibly generate, you're going to be feeling pleasure, love, happiness, joy. Can you imagine? That's like a radical approach. Let me get as happy as I can be and then think about what I can contribute to these to the situation. Whatever it is, whether it's the jackass across the street or the situation overseas. Many situations, multiple situations over out there. The situation's happening in the city I live in. Now, there's no shortage of pain and struggle and strife. There's no shortage of it. I don't have to go to Ukraine to find things to contribute to, or Gaza, or Haiti, or wherever the hell shit is happening all the time. So that's the next step that I want to this money group to go. Like, okay, we're going to let go of survival and scarcity and panic and dread and avoidance with this, our money situation. Money is a powerful tool for healing. The most powerful tool for healing because it has so much wrapped up in it. So we use that portal. We use money as a tool for healing. And so we're like, okay, well, can I feel actual joy, bone deep pleasure doing my taxes? Is that possible? We're going to find out. How do I get myself in a state of absolute contentment, like I couldn't eat another bite, Thanksgiving stuffed, happy, content, whatever. How do I get that energy and then sit down and do my budget? How do I have like a sense of joy and acceptance when I open that letter, which I already know what's in there? So it's not even that. It's not like, oh my God, I have to open the letter and see how much it is. I already know how much it is. And I already know what to do about it. And I already have a plan for it. So can I pick that letter up with the joy side of things? I don't know. It's an experiment. So you can find anything in your life that you can experiment with this. I'm not giving situation X permission to make me get stuck in this frequency. We'll just say frequency. Low frequency, high frequency. No morality. There's no morality. I prefer high frequency when it's embodied, not manic. Oh my God, yay, I have $1,000. I'm going to go spend it. 5 minutes later, it's gone. That's not the kind of pleasure I'm talking about. That's addictive. That's addiction. That's a mania. That's mind having a field day with no regard to the ecosystem. Yeah. So you can ask yourself these questions. How can I experience deep joy and pleasure that I'm engaged in the money system? I have some money. I have some wealth. And if you say I don't have any wealth and you're holding a smartphone, I'm calling bullshit. Because true poverty does not get a smartphone. It doesn't have high broadband internet. Okay? So don't tell me that you don't have wealth if you're listening to this. Unless you're listening to it on something that you borrowed. or, some random computer. Like, you do have some level of wealth. Okay, so how do I tap into that? How do I find the joy in that? And then go, hey, look at me. I've got a letter. I've got to pay taxes. And that means what I say it means. That means what I choose for it to mean. In the past, I made that mean I'll never get ahead. I came from poverty. I'm always going to be poor. My family's always going to be poor. We're going to go under. We're going to die. We're going to starve to death in the streets. Yeah, that's what I made it mean. The alternative, now that I'm talking to you and exploring alternatives, is I could look at that and say, oh my gosh, look at me. I'm engaged in life. Life has debt to it. Life has spending to it. Life has a requirement that you engage somehow with the system of money. Somehow or another, you're engaging with money if you're going to live in this country, in America, we'll say. I don't have a pocket full of shells to trade, and I don't have any goats. So I have to figure out the dollar bill situation. Yeah. So how can I find joy in that? Oh, this letter means, and I talked about this last year when I had my first big giant tax bill. This bill means that my business thrived last year. I've heard a lot of people saying 2023 was really terrible for them, but 2023 was the best I've ever experienced. I cracked 6 figures after 8 years of trying. This year maybe would be the same. This year I'm not freelancing completely. And I used to say, well, it doesn't count because this year I'm on a W-2. Well, it does still count because it's still me creating money, me still engaging with money. So it's quite likely I'll break 6 figures this year as well. So that bill on the counter can be a joyful celebration, or it can be a reason to want to put my head in the oven. I get to choose that. Money doesn't get to choose that for me. I get to choose it. That letter in the state of Georgia doesn't get to choose which direction I go. I'm going to lay down and die direction, or I'm going to lay down and eat myself into a coma direction, or yay me, my business grew last year and it's still growing. Even though things have been slow lately, it's still in the big picture growing. I get to choose. I'm not going to let a piece of paper tell me how I get to feel today. Yeah? I'm not going to let the guy across the street and his wife, I'm not going to let them tell me how I get to feel today. I'm going to feel my response to it because I have a big giant heart and I have my views. I have my opinions about how things ought to be going around here. I'm going to have that human experience, and then I'm going to start looking for the oneness. What can I do from a place of oneness? How can I contribute love to this? How can I contribute peacefulness to this? How can I even contribute an unlabeled energy to this that just happens to feel really good to me? So Forest Reiki energy is an embodied energy. It's different than Usui Reiki. It's very different. And the people who don't explore the differences are really missing out because it's down in the hips. It's down in the feet. It's very grounding and it's different. So I don't even have to label that love. I don't have to label it peace or light or anything at all. There's this energy without a label. There's this energy without a label. There is this experience and that experience physically with this unlabeled energy. This unlabeled energy feels like this in my body. Sensation. You can boil this all the way down to sensation. Okay, this energy, which I'm not even going to bother naming or defining, this energy, when I experience it through my body, I experience this. My heart is pounding fast. My stomach feels tight. My face feels hot and my hands want to hit. That's the experience of that. Okay, let me be with all that. Let me experience all that. And then as I experience all that, it starts to shift to this other energy. This unnamed energy, when I am aware of it and conscious to it, feels like this in my body. I feel like I'm stable. I feel like my hips are weighted in a good way. I feel connected to the earth. I feel my heart expanding. It feels like my chest is actually opening and shining. I feel like something is shining through my body. Oh, this energy in my body feels like a deep sigh of surrender and release. Oh, that's how this energy feels. Okay. So in the beginning, I was feeling the heavy, heart racy energy. And as I stayed with that, it naturally shifted over to this heart expanding energy, this quiet energy. I'm aware of the storm. I'm aware of the struggle. And I'm adding to the field of potentials this energy that feels like heart opening, that feels like, we don't even have to label it. I'm not going to feel rage. I'm going to feel love. Just strip it back even further. Cut it right to the bone. I'm going to feel this energy, and then I'm going to watch and observe and see as it shifts and flips to this energy. There's no morality. There's an energy frequency, and there's this energy frequency, and there's all the frequencies in between. That's power. That is power. That is the power to transform yourself, which contributes to the field transformative power. More of that. But it's not right or wrong. It's not good or bad. It's power. And how you exercise that power. How you choose to embody power. That's all that is. And it's so incredibly powerful. And I won't go into it because I just see that I've been talking for nearly an hour. My God, if you're still here, what a brave soul you are. Right? That's power. So play with this concept of power. How can I own this package of energy that feels like tension and constriction? And how can I be with it long enough that it flips to expansion and open-heartedness? And apply that to whatever's bugging you, whatever you've given your power away to, whatever you've handed a permission slip to tell you how you're going to feel today. Do it this. Just experiment with it. I could be wrong. Maybe this only works for me. I don't know. You try it and see what happens. And if you want to come in to train your body to wealth, it's 40-day self-directed program, but you're supported the whole way. And then we have monthly meetings, which you get to have while you're in your 40-day journey. And then after that, you can stay for $57 a month. And right now it's 50% off until midnight Eastern, May 31st. So if you want in on that, find me on Facebook.com/Laura Michelle Wolf. And I'll send you the link. Just drop a comment on my page. I've been blabbing about it. It's on my cover photo. Drop a comment, tag me. I'll get you the link. No problem. So until we meet again, first of all, thank you if you're listening. I just love y'all so much. And then until we talk again, think less, feel more. Go experiment. Okay, bye.